Hello and welcome to another Falmouth Commodores recap for FCTV. We are your broadcasters. I'm David Korzanowski, joined alongside my broadcast partner, Danny LaRose. The Commodores looking good in the month of July. The first 10 games, they were right above 500 at 5-4-1, Danny.
Yeah, they've really turned it around since then. They were playing about 500 baseball, as you said, and they entered July at 5th place. That's not a playoff spot, and it seemed like every single time they were about to take sole possession of 4th and be in the playoffs or get right around 500, they would lose another game. It was a constant battle to get their heads above water, going 5-4-1 with a couple big wins here and there. There was that one most notable one, July 5th, a 17-7 victory over the Cotuit Kettleers. That was a crazy game, a lot of power shown at Lowell Park. And then July 10th, a doubleheader loss to Chatham. They lost both those games. First one by a score of 1-0 in a close pitcher's duel, and then a blowout 8-2 loss in game 2. That was a real low point, but then they turned it around.
The Commodores did turn it around in the month of July, and our very own Greg Levinsky caught up with assistant coach Brett Becker about what he saw in his team.
Greg Levinsky here alongside Commodores assistant coach Brett Becker. Coach, the team was hovering around 500 for a while, but had a 7-3 streak and really seemed to come together over the last couple of weeks. What's been going on, from your side? What have you seen from the guys as they've come to gel together?
I think it's a combination of they're coming together as a team, and from the offensive standpoint, we've really started to buy into an approach. Our batting practice has been unbelievable the past 3 weeks to a month, and I think that's when we started to kind of turn the corner and play better. Our pitching's been the best in the league all summer, so it's just kind of putting it all together. And I think the most important key is the team chemistry and the camaraderie that the guys have brought all summer to kind of put it together.
We've had a couple of interesting days and kind of important days in the season that aren't so much of the baseball, between the Fenway Day and the All-Star Game this past month. What do you think from a coach it does for the players, those two exposure events?
I think it just raises their competitive level a little bit, really. I mean, anytime you can go to Fenway and be on that stage and perform is special, because there's no other amateur players that really get to do that throughout the course of the year. And then the All-Star Game is a collection of the guys that have put together the best summers. It's cool that they get to go out and perform on that stage. It's televised, it's all that type of stuff, so it's pretty special for them.
Commodores are in a great stretch right now. For Brett Becker, I'm Greg Levinsky. You're watching Falmouth Commodores baseball.
Thanks a lot, Greg. And Danny, in the second 10 games of July, the Commodores really turned it on, going 7-3.
Yeah, really, really good. They are the hottest team in the Cape League over those 10 games, with 3 wins coming over the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, and then against the Eastern Division fared pretty well as well. They swept the season series against the Orleans Firebirds, and winning almost all of them in very convincing fashion. So hottest team in the Cape League, and it shows in those box scores.
Commodores have really been rolling, especially in those second 10 games of July. Thanks especially to Kyle Stowers, one of 7 All-Stars for the Commodores. He now ups his average to above 350, and the pitching staff has been lights out. Best team ERA in the Cape League.
Yeah, Stowers' average at 363 is top on the team. It's one of the tops in the Cape League. He is hitting home runs at a fervent pace, multi-hit games like crazy. The guy cannot be stopped. And then that team ERA, as you said, 333, lowest in the CCBL, and it shows, because it seems like every single time a starter has a rough go of it, bullpen comes in, eats up 5 innings of no-run baseball. They are lights out from the bullpen, which is absolutely crucial when you're heading down the stretch and into the playoffs.
And then, Danny, in the last 6 games of July, Falmouth lost 2 out of 3 to Wareham, but responded really nicely.
Yeah, in about a 3-game series against the Wareham Gatemen, they did lose 2 of those games, but they played nicely in those games. None of them were blowouts. And then, as you said, they responded really well with a 3-game winning streak. They beat the Chatham Anglers convincing 6-1 right after beating the Bourne Braves in dramatic fashion, a walk-off home run from Davis Sims. And then a couple games later, defeated the Brewster Whitecaps in a dominating performance, 10-2 victory over Brewster. So they looked really solid after dropping 2 of 3 to Wareham.
The Falmouth Commodores split the season series with the Wareham Gatemen. No game was decided by more than 4 runs. And then in the final 3 games of July, Falmouth had 7 home runs. 2 against Bourne, 5 against Brewster. They finished the month of July with a record of 16-9-1. Falmouth is looking good heading into the postseason. We'll keep you up to date here on FCTV. For my broadcast partner, Danny LaRose, I'm David Korzanowski. We'll see you soon.